I'm Vicki, and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're here with me. I have another sous vide recipe to share with you. And I have already started one, and we're gonna go ahead and prepare this beautiful 1¼ inch center cut pork chop. And today we are doing a black truffle and garlic pork chop. Yes, I know, sounds really fancy, but you know what? It's really easy, especially with a sous vide cooker. So let's get to it and let's prepare the pork chop. It really sounds good. Now, I've told you about a paste that I make with roasted garlic and sun-dried tomatoes and a little olive oil. And I am just going to top the pork chops with it. Now, believe it or not, you only use about half the salt when you're using a good bit of garlic, because garlic actually tastes kind of like salt. But sorry, I'm not using my usual pastry brushes, but both of them are in the dishwasher right now. And besides, our skinny scraper has lots of uses. Now I'm just going to coat this good with the garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, let's go all the way around, get the fat edges. Okay, now here comes the kind of little fancy thing, but you can order this. You can, excuse me, y'all. You can order this. This is black truffle and garlic seasoning. And the thing is with truffles, you don't use that much. You just use a little bit to season. The mistake I see in a lot of places is people try to overwhelm their foods with truffles. And if you're using truffles, it's really easy to overwhelm your food. But this mixture is a great little mixture, and we're not going to be putting that much. It doesn't come out very fast, see? We're just going to sprinkle a little bit on this side and a little bit on this side. And believe me, that is not much. These are tiny holes and not much is coming out. So we've got our truffles, our black truffle and garlic seasoning. And I got this in the Spice and Tea Exchange in Charleston, South Carolina. I like to go and find cool spices. And so does my son and daughter-in-law. And I think this was a stocking stuffer. It's very good, and it goes such a long way. I mean, because you don't use much truffles. Even if you're using truffles, fresh truffles, and you're shaving them, you don't use very much. People tend to overwhelm with truffles, and it almost has a muddy mushroom taste, and that's not what you want. But just a hint of truffles enhances food so much. But this is something cool if you want to order it to have in your pantry. And I actually keep it in my refrigerator sealed really tight because I want it to stay fresh. And I always keep sun-dried tomatoes, and I always roast garlic. So I make this paste up quite often, especially now that I'm cooking with the sous vide so much. But we are just going to get I usually use my fingers, y'all see this, but just because you're standing there looking at me, I'm going to put this right in the bag, and going to put a tablespoon of butter. And because the mixture is a little salty anyway, I'm using unsalted butter. So we're putting a tablespoon of butter. And we're going to take some cracked pepper. And if you noticed, this is a little trick that I do on my vacuum seal bags. And yes, I'm using vacuum seal bags because I've got something in my reusable storage bags. But you all know I've been cooking sous vide for a while. So. Hey Zoe girl. You think Mama's gonna drop something? Probably not right now. Okay, so sous vide is cooking in a warm bath of water. You always come up with the right temperature of meat, as long as you know what temperature to put it on. This is a good cut of pork chop, and I have it on 140 degrees for 2 hours. And it's ready to start. And I'm just going to put it in. This is really hard to do backwards. And I have it on 2 hours, 140 degrees, and I'm just going to push the button down and tell it to run. And 2 hours from now, it'll be ready. Now, this is the one that I cooked a little while ago. And I'm actually, on this one today, I'm actually going to put it on the grill for about 5 minutes and get that grilled marking, that charred taste. After you sous vide, you either sear, broil, or grill your meat to give it the texture you want. And before you do that, you always pat it dry. So my meat is dry. It's 140 degrees. Looks beautiful. Smells beautiful. It's actually completely cooked. But I want to sear it on the grill just to give it that texture on the outside, and the texture gives it a different flavor. So I'll come back in a few minutes as soon as I have it grilled and show you what it looks like. Well, it's been about 10 minutes, and I fired up the grill and put the pork chop on to sear it on both sides. It's got a little smoky taste and smell to it now. So let's cut into it and see how it looks. Now look at the juice. I have let it sit for 5 minutes and rested. And I'm going to cut into the pork chop so you can see the beautiful center. Now, I wish there was some way I could show you how juicy and wonderful this is. Like I said, this was a grilling pork chop, which means it was about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches thick. So, that little bit of truffle on there. And the sun-dried tomatoes and the garlic infused into this meat while it's cooking in sous vide. And then just that few minutes on the grill. Oh, somebody sent me a message while we were waiting and asked me what kind of grill I used. This is sous vide with the other one cooking. And I use a Traeger pellet grill. Yes, that's my grill of choice. It's a Traeger pellet grill. This is actually using pecan pellets. I like pecan on pork and on chicken. I like oak on beef. So, um, and cherry wood, well, cherry wood's really good on pork as well. Like if you're doing a pork tenderloin or something. But have a wonderful day. I'm going to be back shortly because I'm going to make my bechamel sauce. Somebody asked me about bechamel and they were looking for it on my Facebook because I did a video a couple of years ago on bechamel sauce. Mine is really amazing tasting. But for some reason on Facebook, that video has disappeared now, and so has the recipe. But I have it, and I'm going to do a video in a few minutes with my bechamel sauce. So y'all, it'll be back. And be sure and look for that video as well. Now I'm going to serve the bechamel sauce with the pork chops. I'm not sure what green vegetable I'll use or what vegetable I'll use to go with it. But check back on my bechamel video and see what I used. Or I just might put it at the end of this one. See you later. It's talking to me. Bye.